Take a deep breath. Wherever you are right now, allow your body to relax. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Let this moment be exactly as it is. This message is not here to scare you. It is not here to tell you that something is wrong with you. And it is not here to label your life as difficult or broken. This message is here to remind you of something gentle and true, something your soul already knows, but your mind may have forgotten. Sometimes, when life feels uncomfortable, confusing, or emotionally heavy, it is not because you are failing, it is because you are growing. And growth, when it is quiet and internal, can feel like struggle before it feels like peace. If you've been feeling tired, reflective, emotional, or uncertain lately, please know this. You are not behind. You are not being punished. You are not doing anything wrong. You are simply in a moment of deep inner change. And change, even positive change, often asks us to pause, soften, and listen. You may have heard the phrase, "The chosen one suffers." But let me offer you a different understanding of this ancient wisdom. The chosen one does not suffer as punishment. The chosen one experiences discomfort because they are releasing everything that is no longer aligned with who they are becoming. This is not pain for pain's sake. This is transformation. And transformation requires space. Space that is created when old patterns, beliefs, and energies gently dissolve. Many people believe that manifestation always feels joyful and effortless. They believe that if you are on the right path, everything should feel easy, that if you are aligned, life should flow without friction. But that is not always how inner alignment begins. Before new thoughts settle in, old beliefs often surface. Before peace becomes natural, tension sometimes rises gently to be released. Before clarity arrives, confusion may temporarily deepen. This does not mean life is getting worse. It means awareness is expanding. Think of it this way. When you begin to clean a room that has been closed for years, dust rises into the air. The room looks messier before it looks cleaner. But you are not creating the mess. You are revealing what was already there so it can finally be cleared. The same is true for your inner world. When you begin to value yourself more, anything that contradicts that belief becomes noticeable. When you begin to choose kindness toward yourself, old patterns feel uncomfortable. When you begin to trust your intuition, fear-based thoughts become louder for a moment. This discomfort is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that something new is forming within you. Louise Hay often reminded us that awareness is the first step toward healing. And awareness can feel tender before it feels freeing. It can feel vulnerable before it feels empowering. But tenderness is not weakness. Tenderness is the softening that allows transformation. You may notice emotions coming up that you thought were long gone, memories from years ago, feelings you thought you had already processed, old self-talk that you believed you had overcome. This is not regression. This is gentle clearing. Your mind is showing you what is ready to be released. And release does not require force. It does not require analysis. It does not require understanding every detail of why you feel the way you feel. Release requires only one thing: compassion. You do not need to fix yourself. You do not need to solve every emotion like a puzzle. You only need to say quietly, with gentle honesty, "I see you, and I choose peace now." When emotions are welcomed instead of resisted, they soften naturally. When you stop fighting what you feel, the feeling loses its intensity. This is one of life's greatest paradoxes. What you resist persists. What you accept transforms. So if sadness arrives, let it sit beside you for a moment. If frustration rises, acknowledge it without judgment. If uncertainty lingers, breathe through it with patience. You are not indulging negativity. You are honoring your humanity, and in that honoring, healing happens quietly on its own. There are seasons when life becomes quieter on the outside, less noise, less urgency, fewer obligations that feel important, more space between activities. This is not loneliness, this is restoration. In a world that values constant motion, stillness can feel uncomfortable at first. You may wonder if you are isolating yourself. You may worry that you are falling behind while others move forward. But silence is not emptiness. Silence allows clarity to grow. Stillness allows intuition to speak. Solitude allows self-knowledge to deepen. If your life feels slower right now, it may be because your inner wisdom is reorganizing priorities. It may be because your soul is asking for space to recalibrate. This pause is not empty. It is full of alignment. Think of a musician tuning an instrument. There is a moment of silence before the music becomes beautiful. There is a moment of adjustment before harmony is possible. You are in that moment of tuning right now. And when the tuning is complete, your life will reflect a frequency that truly belongs to you, not one borrowed from external expectations. Sometimes things fall away gently. A routine changes without you consciously deciding to change it. A connection shifts, and you no longer feel called to maintain it. An old goal no longer excites you the way it once did. A habit fades, and you don't even notice it's gone until later. This is not loss. This is refinement. You are not losing pieces of yourself. You are returning to yourself. For so long, many of us have carried things that were never truly ours. Expectations from family, beliefs from society, definitions of success that felt borrowed, identities we thought we had to perform. And now, as you grow more aligned with your true self, these things begin to fall away, not through dramatic endings, but through gentle release. When something no longer fits your sense of peace, it naturally loosens its grip. You do not need to force endings. You do not need to make announcements. Life rearranges itself when you choose self-respect. Trust that what is leaving was meant to leave. Trust that space is being created for something that truly honors who you are. Louise Hay taught us that the way we speak to ourselves shapes our reality more than any external circumstance ever could. Your thoughts are not just thoughts. They are instructions you give to your nervous system. They are beliefs you reinforce every time you repeat them. So if you've been telling yourself that you are struggling, overwhelmed, or behind, gently pause. Notice the words you use when you think about your life. Are you saying, I'm so confused, nothing is working, I'm stuck? Why is this so hard for me? These statements, repeated often enough, become the lens through which you see everything. Try a softer truth instead. I am learning. I am becoming more aware. I am supported by life. I am exactly where I need to be. Words are powerful, but kindness is more powerful. You are allowed to speak gently to yourself, especially when things feel uncertain. You would not speak harshly to a child who is learning to walk. You would not criticize a flower for blooming slowly. Extend that same gentleness to yourself. Your inner voice can be your greatest ally or your harshest critic. Choose ally. Your body responds to your thoughts in ways that are subtle but profound. When you slow down mentally, your body begins to relax. When you release self-judgment, your nervous system softens. When you choose peaceful thoughts, your muscles release tension you didn't even know you were holding. If you've been feeling tired lately, honor that. Your tiredness may not be physical exhaustion. It may be your body asking for rest, not because something is wrong, but because something is integrating. When you learn something new intellectually, your brain creates new neural pathways. When you shift emotionally, your entire system recalibrates. This takes energy. Rest is not delay. Rest is not laziness. Rest is cooperation with life. Your body is wiser than your mind gives it credit for. It knows when to slow down. It knows when to withdraw. It knows when to sleep more, move less, and simply be. Listen to it. In a culture that glorifies productivity, rest can feel like rebellion. But rest is how you integrate growth. It is how lessons become wisdom. It is how change becomes permanent. There is a natural rhythm to growth that cannot be rushed. Just like seasons, life moves through cycles of action and stillness, expansion and integration, doing and being. Neither phase is better than the other. But we live in a world that values the doing phases and dismisses the being phases. We are taught to measure our worth by our output, by our achievements, by how busy we appear. But growth does not work that way. A seed planted in soil does not grow faster when you dig it up to check on it. A butterfly does not emerge stronger when you force open the cocoon. Some things require patience. Some things require trust. When you stop rushing yourself, life feels kinder. When you stop comparing your timeline to someone else's, peace becomes accessible. Everything arrives when there is space to receive it, and space begins inside. Right now, you may be in a phase of preparation. You may not see visible results yet, but that does not mean nothing is happening. Beneath the surface, roots are growing. Beneath the surface, strength is forming. Beneath the surface, alignment is taking place. Trust the timing of your life. Manifestation is not about effort, it is about alignment. And alignment does not feel like striving. It does not feel like forcing. It does not feel like constant action. Alignment feels like relief, like calm, like exhale, like a quiet yes inside your body. If you are releasing old pressure right now, that is alignment forming. If you are letting go of the need to prove yourself, that is alignment forming. If you are choosing rest over guilt, that is alignment forming. You don't need to chase outcomes. You don't need to control every detail. You are already enough. Manifestation happens naturally when you stop blocking it with resistance, doubt, and self-criticism. It happens when you soften, when you allow, when you trust. Let these words settle gently into your awareness. You don't need to repeat them forcefully. Just allow them to be true. I am safe in this moment. Life supports me gently. I allow myself to grow at my own pace. I release the need to rush. I choose thoughts that comfort me. I trust the unfolding of my life. I welcome peace into my body and mind. I am exactly where I need to be. My timing is perfect. I am not behind. I honor my need for rest. I release what no longer serves me with ease. I am becoming more aligned every day. Clarity does not rush in loudly. It does not arrive with fanfare or dramatic revelation. Clarity arrives as calm understanding, as ease, as acceptance. One day you realize you no longer feel the tension you once carried, not because life became perfect, but because you became kinder to yourself. One day you notice that the questions that used to consume you no longer feel urgent, not because you found all the answers, but because you stopped needing certainty to feel safe. One day you look at your life and feel a quiet sense of peace, not because everything is in place, but because you finally stopped measuring your worth by external conditions, and kindness changes everything. Let this truth settle deeply. There is nothing wrong with you. You do not need to be fixed. You do not need to be more than you already are. You are not late. You are not behind. You are evolving gently, in your own time, at your own pace. Life is not testing you to see if you are worthy. Life is responding to your growing self-awareness. As you become more conscious, life mirrors that consciousness back to you. Sometimes that mirroring feels uncomfortable because it reveals what needs to shift. But discomfort is not punishment, it is invitation, an invitation to choose differently, to think differently, to treat yourself differently. Manifestation does not always arrive as events. It does not always look like the things you asked for showing up perfectly wrapped. Sometimes manifestation arrives as inner peace, as self-trust, as emotional stability, as the ability to remain calm when you used to feel anxious, as the capacity to set boundaries when you used to people please, as the courage to rest when you used to push through exhaustion. And from that place, everything else flows naturally. When you are at peace with yourself, opportunities align. When you trust yourself, decisions become easier. When you honor your needs, relationships improve. External manifestation is simply a reflection of internal alignment. So if you are focused on manifesting specific outcomes, start by manifesting peace within yourself first. Everything else will follow. You are in a sacred pause right now, a moment where old versions of you are dissolving and new versions are forming. This in-between space can feel uncomfortable because you are neither who you were nor fully who you are becoming. But this moment is not wasted. This moment is essential. This is where transformation happens. Not in the big, visible changes, but in the quiet internal shifts that no one else can see. You are rewiring beliefs. You are releasing patterns. You are choosing yourself in ways you never have before. And even though it may not look like progress from the outside, everything is changing on the inside. Honor this moment. It will not last forever. Soon you will look back and realize that this was the turning point. This was when everything shifted. If today feels tender, be gentle with yourself. If today feels quiet, trust it. If today feels uncertain, breathe. You are supported, even when it doesn't feel like it. You are guided, even when you cannot see the path. You are allowed to move slowly. You are allowed to not have all the answers. You are allowed to rest, to pause, to simply be. Everything you are becoming is unfolding at exactly the right pace. The discomfort you feel is not a sign that you are lost. It is a sign that you are transforming, and transformation by its very nature requires the old to dissolve so the new can emerge. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are right on time. Take another deep breath and know this: you are doing beautifully. Everything is working in your favor, especially the things that don't feel that way yet. Trust yourself. Trust the process. Trust that life is gently guiding you toward everything you are meant to experience. You are the chosen one, and your suffering is not permanent. It is preparation for everything you are about to manifest.